Okay. KTT, new episode once every 2 weeks. I am Drift. I'm joined by my co-host.
It's BlackStarXero. Just call me Zero.
And that's how we bringing it in this week. This is the energy we have today. So we're going to get into it, One Piece, and then followed by 2 original segments, I believe. Okay, dope. So without further ado, One Piece. Cool. So talking to fandom right now, you know what I'm saying? I've seen the rumblings, no AOT. I've seen the rumblings in the community regarding how niggas are feeling about the Haki. You know what I'm saying? The new power system. Beefing with the immortal beings we call the God's Knights. You feel me? So, how you feeling? You know what I'm saying? How are we gonna combat these people? You get me? Inverse. How are we combating them? Do you think it's a new flavor of Haki that is required?
I believe so.
Yeah?
Right, yes. Okay. Not 100% yet because obviously it's still fresh and developing, right? But I feel like it is a new application of an existing Haki.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Now, that just leaves the question of which one, right? Because we've already seen the quote-unquote upgrades for all 3 of them.
Right.
Unless
Right.
Rio is something else.
Which at present I'm disinclined to believe. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
But
Unless Rio is something else, right?
Yeah.
But it's still Haki. So yeah. So for observation Haki, future sight. What is it? For hardening, I assume that was Rio.
That
the next
would be
level.
Rio. Yeah.
You understand? And then there's conquering Haki, which you can use to like dominate other people's will, and then the further application of that being that you can like channel it into weapons and fists and stuff like that to like damage your enemy.
Yeah.
So, by the time we wrapped up 1, I thought we'd already seen everything Haki had to offer, just like, further refine the technique, so to speak.
Insofar as like looking at what the Haki does, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, Rio is the understanding of being able to use your Haki and then inject it into somebody else and destroy them using it that way. You feel me? Cool. What then could separate Rio, for example, from like this new style of Haki that we might be seeing the advent of in the most recent chapter?
And that right there's the crux of the problem.
You feel me?
Do you understand?
Because like, I have seen man rumble about it online. You know what I'm saying? Calling it the first iteration of what Scopper Gaban did, basically. You know what I'm saying? To clue the listeners in what Scopper Gaban did.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a sec. You understand?
Yeah.
Let's just like kind of flesh out what we're saying here, and then we'll touch on what Scopper did.
Like what Scopper Gaban did by chopping off someone's hand. You know what I'm saying? On its nose, it's like, okay, cool, he's strong enough to do that. But it's why. You know what I'm saying? What application of Haki could he be using to allow him to do that? You know what I'm saying? And that's what's required in order to actually have our set, our gang, actually be able to throw hands with the God's Knights. You feel me? So what I've seen somebody online say is that it might be the first iteration. I can't remember exactly what the person said, but it might be like the first iteration of like infused Haki. You know what I'm saying?
Infused Haki.
Like proper infused Haki. You know what I'm saying? So in the sense that, the knot that Joy Boy infused his Haki into Emmet. You know what I'm saying? So what somebody else said was this might be the current day advent of us seeing Haki of that level. You know what I'm saying? So what they're postulating is that Scopper Gaban infused his Haki in such a way or in a similar fashion to what Joy Boy did for MF into his axes. You know what I'm saying? Which is why the axe can seemingly cleanly cut off parts of the God Knight, barring the immortality. Seemingly. You know what I'm saying? Because all we've seen, the last chapter ended with Scopper taking the hand. You know what I'm saying? Right. We don't know what.
It's a slash across the chest and the cut
a slash across the chest and a cut and the hand missing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Based off that, it's not like we have conclusive evidence to say, hey, he can't regenerate the hand as of yet.
Right.
You feel me?
Exactly.
So that's why I'm like, hey, I wanna preface what I'm saying here with, of course, these are all hypotheticals. You get me? It's just based off what we've seen so far. This is the first time that we've seen somebody land a clear blow on a God's Knight, and that nigga still actually like that nigga still had a fucking body part missing.
Okay.
You feel me? Any other time you've seen a God's Knight member take damage, any other single time you've seen a God's Knight member take damage, them niggas instantly get to regenerating, bro. And obviously that love is extended even to the fucking Gorosei. You get me? Like, no matter how much damage they were dashing at that nigga Saturn on fucking Egghead, the nigga was just regenerating. You get me? Usopp blew a fucking Gonko's top half, it's just regenerated. You know what I'm saying? And this is the first time Scopper Gaban attacking Saint Summers. This is the first time that we've seen somebody land a blow on a God's Knight that they didn't immediately start to fucking regenerate from. You get me?
Right. Well, first thing with that is it's the end of the chapter, right? So we don't know what's to come after that, and we're on break, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly how someone's going to respond to that, right? Based on what I've seen, it looks like an actual injury. So not poo-pooing anything you just said.
No,
like it looks like an actual injury.
Yeah.
Now, how long lasting is that injury? Could he like regen over time? Think of like the Edo Tensei man them. You understand? You blow off a hand over time, it will come back.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So is it a situation like that with them? So the damage is only temporary unless you put them down.
But even then, even if it is a situation of, okay, cool, if you take the body part, like via the Scopper Gaban method, we'll call it now. You know what I'm saying? If you take a body part via the Scopper Gaban method, and that means that the body part takes longer to regenerate, that still would represent a marked like step up from any other type of damage we've seen them recover from prior. Like man said,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it represents actual damage. This isn't like you said, like, so Usopp shot Gonko in the face, right? And she just regen that, like, what? You understand? Robin snapped my guy's spine and he just regen that. But what Scopper did, it's a slash across the chest and the hand, and it seemed to hurt him.
And that is kind of why
it seems to hurt him.
That is why at the start of like me getting into this, I did try to like preface for the viewers, like, of course this is a hypothetical. You get me? Like, we don't know what the next chapter looks like, yeah. So the last thing that we've seen in the most previous one is Summers is the hand missing from Summers and a slash across the chest. You get me? So we don't know if that was damaging enough that he can't regenerate from. We haven't seen the next chapter. You get me? It's just at present, based off those panels, it's the first time that we've seen a God's Knight take damage that didn't immediately start to regenerate, and B, take damage that actually made them respond in a way that anybody else in the fucking verse would.
Like a normal person.
Like a normal person.
Would react.
When somebody takes damage, it's like, what the fuck? This is the first time we've seen an individual actually react that way.
To be fair, he played it up with Robin, boy, but we didn't trust that. We didn't trust that. You understand? Like, this is real.
I mean, I'll be like, put it this way. Listen to what you just said. You feel me? He played it up with Robin.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is, like, with Gonko, she just calmly stood there and took it. You understand? Summers played it up. But this time,
that's what I'm saying.
Actually, you understand? This is real. This hurt him.
And that's what I mean. It's like, this is the first time that we've actually seen a God's Knight member take damage that they didn't immediately regenerate from, or actually take damage that you can tell that they are actually bothered by. You feel me?
Right.
Whereas, like you correctly just stated, when he got his back snapped, when he got his back snapped by Robin, you know what I'm saying? He just fucking like, I was playing with you. You know what I'm saying? I was giving you the impression that maybe you did some damage. You know what I'm saying? Gonko getting her face shot off by fucking Usopp and then regening. Another good example, you feel me? But that's kind of why I was like, hey, before we start thinking like, hey, he's taking actual damage, let's see what the next
we kind of got the real. Finish explaining the infusion to me, because I have a question.
Like, so long story short, the infusion is, think of it this way, yeah? Instead of, or rather, there's nothing to explain. Think of the knot on MF.
Right.
Think of the knot on Emmett. You know what I'm saying? You know how Joy Boy sealed his Haki into the knot, and then years later, when the knot was unleashed, the amount of Haki irradiated that was strong enough to blow back the ghost.
Yeah.
That is the point you want to look at when you think of the concept of individuals infusing their Haki into shit. You get me? So if Joy Boy could do that with the knot, why is it impossible that somebody else could do it with their axe? You get me?
No.
Of course, no. Stay with me. Stay with me. The reason I say why is it impossible that somebody could do it with their axe is because up to now we've seen no hard evidence that that is what's happening. You get me? So the fact that now we see Scopper Gaban with just his axes able to cleave off a part of the fucking God's Knights, and like not regenerating instantly, it might speak to the fact that Scopper Gaban is the first individual in the story that we've seen now, modern day, that has an understanding of Haki to the extent that allows him to do that. You know what I'm saying? So by that I mean what Joy Boy did by sealing his Haki into the knot for MF, like maybe niggas from Rogers' crew and them man, like so the Rayleigh, the Scoppers, the fucking Rogers, maybe them man also in their travels came across Haki understanding strong enough to allow them to do the same thing. And that's what's required to actually fight these immortal beings.
Right.
You feel me? So that's why an individual is like, maybe what we're seeing from Scopper and his ability to cleave off a part of fucking Summers is the fact that he is the first person we've seen in current day with the understanding enough of Haki to be able to infuse it in his weapons in such a way that like Joy Boy did with the knot with Emmett.
Okay.
You get me? Up to now, we've seen niggas use armament, we've seen niggas use Black Blade, we've seen niggas use Rio, you know what I'm saying? None of that was quite to the same effect of the fucking infusion that we saw Joy Boy do with fucking Emmett.
So what? Is it some like delayed effect kind of thing then?
What do you mean?
So obviously the Haki was in that knot for what, 800 years? Right? So what I'm saying is with the infusion, is it like a delayed effect kind of thing then?
In what regard? Expound.
So
when you say delayed effect,
you infuse the Haki in the axes in Scopper's case, right? Then you attack the enemy, and then the Haki releases after that rather than at the moment of impact, and that causes the damage. So I'm saying, like,
hear me, right? So the reason I haven't really tried to dig into how this infused Haki might be useful against immortal beings is because I'll put it to you this way. We've only recently got the explanation regarding how Rio is fundamentally different to fucking armament Haki. You get me? We've only recently gotten that working understanding in the Wano arc. You feel me? So I feel like when the time comes to properly explain for like this newer edition of Haki, like the infusement and whatnot, when the time comes for that to be properly expounded on, I feel like we will actually get the working explanation of how Scopper was able to do that, and by extension, and by extension, how Joy Boy was able to do it 800 years ago. You feel me?
Sure.
So
I mean, yeah, sure, of course, because it's obviously set up for Scopper to now teach the Straw Hats. You know what I'm saying? It's set up for the Straw Hats to not like learn that, or at least
stay with me, right? Stay with me. I'm glad you broached that point. The Straw Hats learning. You know what I'm saying? And putting Scopper Gaban in a position to teach. Cool, right? That's another question floating around in the fandom. How are we gonna go about having our set learn this new skill set? You feel me?
Because it's less how and more who.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna stay on a how, because how is, are you gonna give me another time skip? I hope not. You get me?
Okay.
Cool. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's what you do this late into the game, questionable as fuck. Come on now. You feel me? But if it's not that, what type of training arc setup are you gonna give me that would give us enough time for the set? So not just Luffy, not just Sanji, not just Zoro, not just Jinbei. You know what I'm saying? The set to actually learn this newer type of Haki that you can actually box with the God's Knights. And keep in mind, there are still members of the set that don't have working like usage of the basic types of Haki.
Right.
You feel me? So that's why for me and some other man, it's a question of, okay, cool, how? Like, what's the vector by which this new Haki is going to get distilled to the set? Like, how are you going to go about doing it? You feel me? Is it going to be on like the side part of the next arc? Is it going to be like some off-screen shit? Is it going to be a quick 1-2 arc? Like, how are we going to go about doing this? Because this is now the new way by which...
I don't think it's going to be an off-screen thing.
You know what I'm saying? Because...
It's either going to be, right, by combat, right? So they'll see Scopper or Scopper like teach them mid-fight.
Okay.
Like demonstrating it, right? So that's one clear vector. Again, this is why I say it's who and not how. But
I mean, we can agree to this.
You understand? Like so I'll continue on the how part.
Yeah.
Following on from that, I could see. So if you remember a while ago, I can't remember if it was like on the pod or we're just having a separate kind of discussion. But I mentioned that One Piece usually has these like little peak moment, like dip moments, right? Where they like change locales and shit like that. You understand? It's possibly it could happen there. What I'm seeing right now is possible that a couple of the God Knights might retreat and kidnap some of the kids. You understand?
Okay.
And then the pursuit of that's how that knowledge can be distilled.
Feasible.
Or like I said,
if that happens, feasible.
Or like I said, by fight. So them's like,
I won't lie to you. I warm more to the prior idea than the latter idea. You know what I'm saying? The prior idea of, okay, cool, the God's Knights might retreat with some of the children, and then obviously with them being off Elbaf, that now gives Scopper Gaban the time to kind of distill this information to the set. You get me? I less so warm to the idea that this is something that you can learn just by looking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd have to be a particularly nice nigga to be able to pick up on that level of Haki usage just by looking. You feel me? Like Luffy and them man who already vet fucking Haki users had no idea what Rio was. You feel me?
Sure.
So that's why I'm like, I don't think they'll be able to do it by looking, but the former idea, the God's Knight retreating, and if that happens, that then gives you the breathing room to allow Scopper to then explain how to use this new edition of Haki and all of that shit to the set. That's feasible. You get me? Of course, easily.
But again, all right, so the issue here is like, when you say the set, who in the set?
I mean, so, okay, cool. Here's my thing, right? Of course, I understand in verse right now, there's only 4 people that I could be discussing, right? Stay with me, right? There's only 4 people that we could be discussing. But do you feel like it should stay that way? This late into the story, and that's what I mean. It's like, you can't only have 4 niggas on the entire fucking ship that's able to box with the God's Knights whenever the God's Knights pull up. You get me? That's an arse way to use the non-fucking strongest 4 niggas, objectively fine. You get me? But now, more so than ever, like, if we're gonna get a new type of Haki that, like, Luffy and the man are gonna learn, distill it to the rest of the set too. Or at least take this time to upgrade their Haki hands.
You feel me? I more agree with that point there.
I more agree with that point there. And stay with me. The reason I'm disinclined, the reason I don't even warm to the idea of simply upgrading their Haki hands while these men learn the newer edition of Haki is because me upgrading your Haki hands to where Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei used to be still makes you useless in the fights to come. You get me? That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, cuz, you're either going to distill this information to the entire set, or if you only distill it to 4, please believe you're basically saying whenever the God's Knights pull up, only 4 niggas can fight. If you want to do that, by all means, but that's an arse way to use the rest of the fucking characters.
I agree with that point.
You get me?
I know. I agree with that point. That's why I was like, if this thing comes, it's unlike that the rest of the crew are gonna fucking get given it. It's just gonna go to Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, and maybe Jinbei.
And here's the thing: if that does happen, that's fucking arse usage of the character. Because it's like we're this late in, and niggas like fucking Nami and Usopp and all of these other niggas still don't have credible Haki hands yet. You get me? Like credible Haki hands yet. And we're talking about going the step beyond, beyond where even advanced Haki is right now. So I'm like, gang, look, I personally think you should distill it to everybody to kind of at least increase their hands to a point where you can box meaningfully. If not, arse use of characters. I'm not gonna lie. We may have stayed on the One Piece segment a little too long. Not gonna hold you. Not gonna lie. But I was locked in. I can't lie to you. You get me? Like this particular subject, ever since the last chapter, has been like just bobbing around in my fucking mind. You feel me? So that's my thoughts on One Piece. There. Sorry for the
all right. Before we roll out, then
yes, sir.
Quick question.
Sir. Go on.
New type of Haki or new application of Haki?
New application of Haki.
New application.
You know what I'm saying? So whenever I say new type of Haki, like, thank you for asking me to clarify, by the way, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I was saying new type of Haki, it wasn't me saying, hey, we're going to get like a 4th edition of Haki, you know what I'm saying? So Ken, Buso, and Hao, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we're going to get a 4th to that, you feel me? I'm also saying whatever we're currently using within Haki, we're probably going to have to like start using it differently. You get me? Okay. So you want to adding a new
So a 4th application rather than a 4th type.
Yeah, like, so a 4th application rather than a 4th type. Succinctly, Paul. Can't lie. Succinctly, Paul. Yeah.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So what was that it? Was that the last of the One Piece?
Yeah.
All right, gang. So cool. That's the One Piece segment. You dig. Next segment. You dig. Original segment. Come on. Love. Catch you in that. Big love. Big love to anybody still tapped into the podcast this late into the episode and that. Don't forget to like up, sub up, comment. Helps us, helps the algorithm, helps you. So, original segment, OTW. I'm going to pass over to my dog, Xero. What we saying, man?
Right. So, OG segment. Right. So, browsing Reddit.
What?
Right. And I come up.
Hey, see, that's what browsing Reddit does to you.
Yeah, mush turns your brain to mush.
The fucking brain rot, bro. But yeah, go on.
Edit this shit the fuck up. Anyway, so I'm browsing Reddit, right, and I come across a post that's basically asking the question: what small change in Dragon Ball would go on to have massive ramifications down the line, right? So think the butterfly effect.
Yeah. So that's a good example. Yeah.
You understand? So think the butterfly effect. Right. So I looked through some of the comments and I saw some examples. I think the poster gave the example of Goku surviving the special beam cannon through the chest.
Right.
That therefore means that he wouldn't go on to die and study with King Kai, which means that a year later, when Vegeta and Nappa turns up, they're cooked.
You've merely delayed the inevitable.
You understand? You're absolutely cooked, right? And then somebody else mentioned one, which is even earlier than that, from Dragon Ball, which is Goku when he was out fishing for his, lunch or dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So the encounter with Bulma. If Goku had stayed at that lake for like a few more minutes, Bulma could have just pulled up to the house, got the Dragon Ball, dipped out, and Goku would had no way to find it. No Nimbus back then. No radar, so he never knew anything
at all.
So minute changes like that, right? And then it actually got me thinking, like, some of these, I hate to shit on somebody's, like, creative work or whatever.
Original hypothetical.
You understand?
Yeah.
But, let me go for the low-hanging fruit here. The betrayed and trapped in the time chamber for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like, that's a what if, right? But it's a very stupid premise for a what if.
And I feel like it's perfectly fine with saying that. You get me? I'm perfectly within my right to have an opinion on your hypothetical. And some of you guys' hypotheticals are fucking buns, my nigga. I'm not
doing too much.
Like, they're
doing
fucking,
way too much.
Like buns, my nigga. You feel me? So I'm glad you kind of broached this segment. But yeah, go on.
Yeah. So it kind of got me thinking, like, what is an example of a good what if, right? So we have the fanfics. You have what's it called there? Not AF, the other one, with Zykor.
Okay, no, that one I'm not tapped in. I'm not tapped in with.
I don't know but it's a fan favorite. You understand? There's multiverse.
I don't really watch like what if multiverse wishes. You feel me? But
sure. You understand? So like those, I consider those good.
Yeah. Okay.
You understand? Those are fine. You understand? So like,
fire what ifs to me, Dragon Ball Heroes. But yeah, go on.
Dragon Ball Heroes.
Dragon Ball Heroes as it exists, bro. Bro, don't ever piss me off. Dragon Ball Heroes itself exists as
official what if.
Just
like,
official.
The official what if of Dragon Ball.
The official what if of Dragon Ball, fam. You get me? That should be their tagline. But yeah, go on. My bad.
So following from that, so I was just thinking, it got me thinking, what makes a good what if?
All right.
You understand?
All right.
And I feel like people lean too much into the edge when trying, you understand? That's kind of what I called them earlier. You lean too much into the edge to try and create your stories.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give another example. I see a picture, somebody's drawing. Again, I hate like talking shit on people's stuff. Right. The drawing itself was fire.
Right.
Okay.
Two things can be true.
Right? Yeah. The drawing itself was fire. Yeah. The premise behind it was fucking garbage.
Buns, yeah?
Yeah. It's Super Saiyan 3 blue Gotenks, right? Fighting an enraged Beast Gohan. And Beast Gohan says, I'm not gonna lose. And then he gets a new transformation where it gets like 6 arms.
So it's fucking like
and it has like key balls, like you know, like the Astro thing. Yeah, 6 arms with like key balls around. I will thank
what? I will thank you, Naruto niggas, to stay out my community. You get me? That right there.
Alright, to be fair, we kind of stepped in their territory with the Goku Susanoo. So.
Like, listen, all right, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like about Zero. You know what I'm saying? Even-handed nigga, you feel me? A nigga like me, stay out of my community, bro. You get me? It is a gated community. Stay the fuck off the property. You feel me? Nigga said Gohan transforms from Beast and gets like 6 additional hands to keep. But nigga, it is not the fucking Kurama avatar.
What? Right? What the fuck was that?
It's not the Kurama
What is that?
You feel me? We've never seen anything.
Like the drawing was fucking fire, though.
And again, 2 things can be true. 2 things can be true. You feel me? The drawing is fire. The concept behind the drawing, less so. You feel me? Less so.
Yeah, going back to Reddit, there's a sub for that. You know, awesome thought, garbage execution. Yeah, which is the thing. Garbage thought, awesome execution. Yeah. In that particular picture in case, you understand? Garbage thought, awesome execution.
Yeah.
You understand? So yeah, bro. Yeah.
You feel me? It's a little different.
Yeah. So back to the what if. So there's that. You know, as I mentioned, the multiverse one, which is, you know, pretty good. If you just want your like straight corn. You understand? Like, you know, there's backstory and shit like that, but it's straight corn. And then you have stuff like, I'm gonna shout out Moscow X here. Right. You understand? He's always doing what ifs, and you know, I don't tune into all of them, but he did a very good one.
That's the voice of Goku from TFS Abridged, by the way, for the like, uninitiated. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so he done a what if Bardock comeback. He does a lot of them. What if Gene went to Earth with Goku and stuff like that. You understand? So he does what if like that. But he done one you know, what if Bardock got wished back. You understand? And they didn't have all of that shit there with it. You understand? It was a story about Bardock coming back, right? And him adjusting to life in peacetime. I'm not talking like ha-has and stuff like that. This is still very much the Bardock you and I know. Yeah. But he's adjusting to life in the Z world, where his son is like infinitely fucking stronger than him. Yeah. You understand? But has nothing.
So that's sorry to cut you off, my bad. You know what I'm saying? So I was just gonna say that's a more infinitely interesting hypothetical. You get me? Because it's something that you care about seeing. Like, you've never seen Bardock in this environment. You get me? So if you did create a story wherein that happened, it would be fun just to see a nigga who we've never seen in peacetime on Earth be able to enjoy the fact that, hey, that's my son. Those are my grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? That's my son's wife.
That's just it. In the story, he has to come to terms with all of that.
And that's what I mean. That's what makes it a good hypothetical. I'm like, that sounds like an infinitely more interesting hypothetical. You get me? The hypothetical of, hey, what if Goku was betrayed and trapped in the fucking hyperbolic time chamber for 10,000 years? Nigga, for the hypothetical to work, it needs to be interesting. You feel me? In what realm of Dragon Ball Z would Goku be trapped, like betrayed by whoever and trapped in the fucking hyperbolic time chamber for 10,000 years? It's not an hypothetical. Like, on the surface, it's just not really an interesting one to unpack. You feel me? Whereas one where Bardock, Goku's fucking father, comes back to life and gets to interact with them on Earth would be more interesting to look at. I can't lie to you. I care more about Bardock. You feel me? I care more about that type of fucking imagery. You get me? The idea that Goku is just randomly betrayed and then trapped in the fucking hyperbolic time chamber for 10,000 years, nigga, where did you even get that from? And again, I'm going to do what you do. I'm not trying to shit on your fucking original idea. It's original content. Do you? It's just not a very interesting hypothetical. You feel me? And I'm allowed to say it. Because, bruv, by nature of it being a hypothetical, it means you need to be okay with people pushing back against these ideas. You get me? So I know that the people that create these hypotheticals aren't like saying, yo, these are end-all be-alls. But I feel like, hey, if it's an arse fucking hypothetical, I'm allowed to say it's an arse hypothetical. You get me? To kind of hit back and, well, not hit back at you, but to kind of give you my point real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see a lot of Naruto ones online, and I don't hate Naruto. Relax, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with Naruto.
They're just as absurd.
Yeah? But I see a lot of them online. Like, what if Naruto and Sasuke grew up in each other's lives? It'll be a fundamentally different story. Open and shut case, bro. What the fuck is the hypothetical about? We'd no longer be watching the story of Naruto or Naruto Shippuden as you, me, the viewers know it. It's that simple. If Naruto and Sasuke swapped places in their childhoods and grew up differently, we'd be watching a fundamentally different show. That's all that means to me. You get me? And I don't know if necessarily that show would be better. You get me? So that's really why I don't really dig into those hypotheticals.
Again, it depends on how you apply it, because listen, that whole thing there was contemplated by Naruto. And when him and Sasuke were fighting, so after he killed Danzo, Kakashi pulled up on him. Then Naruto pulled up on him, right? And when they're having a fight, Naruto's like envisioning like, yo, what if our lives were reversed? It's about how you handle the fucking thing.
Yeah.
You understand? I think that's what you're speaking to. Like, an ass premise is an ass premise. Asking if Naruto was, just to go back to the Naruto example, if Naruto was born as an Uchiha instead, so no nine-tailed fox, no fucking Uzumaki fucking genetics to have like the wealth of chakra.
Right.
He's just Naruto Uchiha.
He's Naruto Uchiha, and I feel like the story that you receive that makes you even like Naruto enough to ask this hypothetical, you'd probably get an entirely different fucking version of him now. You get me? An Uchiha Naruto is gonna hit different to the fucking Naruto that we got. You feel me? Same way that like if a Sasuke Uchiha that's not an Uchiha doesn't hit the same.
All right, listen, and again, if you want to see what Naruto as an Uchiha looks like, go read Boruto.
You know what I'm saying? And hey, fun fact, most of you niggas don't even like that. You get me? So hey, there you go. There's that hypothetical for you. You get me? There's that hypothetical for you. But yeah, go on.
But yeah, so so I think we're kind of in agreement that,
some of these hypotheticals just need a bit more work, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, make them a bit more interesting. You get me?
Right. Yeah. So the premise of the hypothetical needs to be interesting. Otherwise, you just run into a very obvious and stupid answer.
Yeah.
It's like a different story.
Like you know what I'm saying? A very open and shut fucking like response to the fucking video. You know what I'm saying? Or like whatever you happen to be looking at. Like, it's not hard to unpack for those types of hypotheticals. You get me?
Right.
It's not very hard to do. And again, to further illustrate my point, if you want good hypotheticals, look at Dragon Ball Heroes. I'm not lying. You want good hypotheticals? Look at Dragon Ball Heroes. Nigga, we didn't see Super Saiyan 3 Trunks. They did. You get me? Like, that's what I'm saying. If you want to see those type of hypotheticals, go look at fucking Heroes. You get me? If you're going to make your own, sit down, really reason them out. And this isn't just about Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, whatever you're doing across whatever medium. Just think about the fucking comparisons or the characters you're using in these hypotheticals to make the premise of them more interesting.
In short, keep your shit a bit grounded, fam.
You get me?
Yeah, just keep your shit a bit grounded, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Go from there. Stick within the story. You have the story of Dragon Ball, Naruto, whatever verse. Pick your verse. You have the verse, Work within the verse, bro. Why are you trying to like lore break it and shit and like do the most and like overpower them more? Like what is that? That's unnecessary.
To stay on the fucking point, like the example that you gave with the Dragon Ball Z one, right? In the event that we're unpacking the hypothetical of Goku being betrayed and entrapped in the fucking hyperbolic time chamber for 10,000 years, what would you get from that story? What would you get from it?
10,000 years later, he comes out and he's very, very angry.
Like 10,000 years later, he comes out, Chi-Chi's dead. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, I don't know, Goten and Gohan probably dead.
10,000 years, you think?
You know what I'm saying? Man said probably, my bad. There I go. You feel me? Dead. You get me? Pan, dead. You get me? Pan's children, dead. So I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? What, like, do you even hear do you hear the time frame we're using, my guy? 10,000 years?
Yeah, what of consequence? Like, again, you can only come out and be pissed off at whoever trapped him in there and they fight, and then they fight, and then what?
And assuming the individual that trapped his ass in there is still around at 10,000 years after, you feel what I'm saying? I'm like, cuz, if you start to like poke holes in these hypotheticals, they fall apart very quickly. You get me? So that's why I'm like, hey, just spend a bit more time really letting these hypotheticals cook. You know what I'm saying? Let them marinate overnight. You know what I'm saying? Season them properly, put them to court, let them sit, take them out, then serve. You feel me? Some of you man are serving them prematurely. The meat look kind of raw. You feel me? That's all I'm saying.
Right. I don't have cooking analogies. I'm gonna say like some of them stories, just leave them in the drafts, innit?
Yeah, like,
leave it in the draft.
Leave them in the drafts, fam. You get me? Reason them out a bit more. You get me? Reason them out a bit more. No lie, we did have another segment lined up. You feel me? I'm gonna pass it over to my boy.
Right. So, you familiar with Black Clover? Like where we are currently?
Of course.
Right. So, just a quick question for you then, yeah? Do you foresee any path forward for Asta to become Wizard King?
Do I foresee any path forward for Asta to become Wizard King?
Yeah.
IRL, as in, when I say IRL, I mean in real life. Of course I do. By of course I do, I mean because Asta is the main character of fucking Black Clover, it is in all likelihood going to be him that becomes fucking Wizard King. You feel me? Because of like the author's machinations.
But I just throw it specific to you right now.
In verse though, it makes no sense if he is. in verse, like not IRL. So in the verse of Black Clover, if that nigga Asta becomes Wizard King, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It like you have to unsee everything that you've been watching up to that point. Because between him and his childhood best friend, you tell me who the fuck should be Wizard King?
Boy.
You feel me?
Like everything about just screams future Wizard King.
I'm like, cuz
everything about the guy.
What can the nigga not do? What can the nigga not do? Dude, what he can't do is everything that we see Julie.
The greatest rags to riches story. I think, this is better than even Naruto. This is the greatest rags to riches story ever.
And the craziest thing is this, bro. When you maturing is realizing that once you get further enough into the Black Clover, the Black Clover storyline, doesn't even come from rags. The nigga's royalty. From
riches to rags to riches again.
Like his family were the actual monarchs of the Spade Kingdom. So Yuno's family are the actual monarchs of the Spade Kingdom. Exactly. So I'm like, it's not even a rags story. Like, bro, this nigga was born a royal, had to endure the life of a pauper before he got back up on his shit and became the strongest nigga ever.
Vice captain in only what? How long have them niggas been at the fucking squad?
Look. And again, I
think a year tops, and he was already made vice captain.
Brother, if even fucking that, brother. I don't know if it was a solid year. If even fucking that, brother. You get me? I don't know if it was a solid year. You feel me? Because you have to keep in mind, in worlds like anime, when a year goes past, niggas tend to look different. You get me? So I don't even know if it's been an actual fucking year. You know what I'm saying? So the working knowledge could be that this is all one fucking year. So this nigga has gone from strength to strength to strength to strength to strength in 1 year, because these niggas don't look different. It doesn't look like a fucking time skip has happened. You get me? As a matter of fact, no, maybe one has. You get me? I do feel like a soft one happened.
I feel like there's a
soft
1 year
happened after fucking. I don't know if it's 1 year, but I know a soft one happened.
Not like a time skip, not like a 1 year time skip, but it's like a year since like they joined the Knights up to where we at right now.
And even if that is the case, it still speaks to the point we're making. This nigga's achieved all of this in 1 fucking year. You get me? Like the only confirmed time skip I'm aware of was like a soft one.
The brief one in between when they went off to train with the Hard Kingdom.
You know what I'm saying? There's that one, and when fucking Asta got fucking laying down and he had to go train in fucking Yami's country. You know what I'm saying? I believe that little interim between that happening and him coming back was a soft little time skip, like maybe like 3 weeks or some shit.
Okay.
You feel me? So that's what I mean. It's like, cuz tell me something can't do. To get back to by the way, we ain't off that yet. We still on that ass. You feel me? To get back to cuz what do you mean he's not Wizard King by the end of this story? If you have been watching the same shit that I have been watching, bro, you've only seen that nigga go from strength to fucking strength. I take no else. Even when the niggas that spank are niggas who can beef with other level 1, like rank 1 fucking magical knights and shit. You know what I'm saying? Captains. You feel me? Those are the niggas that you usually see have pressed. You know what I'm saying? Breaking a sweat. You know what I'm saying? One of the first times I can remember actually sweating over some shit was him and Asta versus fucking Licked. And nigga, that's fucking Licked. You feel me? That was fucking Licked. And that was way before is where is now. You feel me? Where the niggas wielding fucking anti-magic alongside wind magic and the fucking... Nigga, listen, gang. So, to answer the question, sorry, basically just took up the fucking, like, the entire portion of what we're going to talk about here. But to answer the question, IRL... it's going to be Asta because of the author's fucking machinations. You get me? And Asta is the main character of the story. In verse though, as in the world of Black Clover as it is, there is nothing that I've seen up to this point that would convince me that between the two of them, when that time comes, it's gonna be Asta.
The one that's gonna fucking.
Nigga, who the fuck? No. Nigga, you is not Naruto, nigga. No. You is not Naruto, nigga. I'm sorry.
Bro has the powers and the fucking intelligence.
Cause powers, required. The powers,
the demeanor, all of that required. Asta,
he checks off every single box. Like, cause the nigga is the most kingly looking nigga you see in the show. Cause temperament, demeanor, drip, power set, like fights that you see him in, importance to the world, backstory. Cause this nigga is important across the fucking board. Across the board, nigga. When Asta's fucking mother was revealed, she's just a woman. This nigga, comes from royalty.
Already fuck his pedigree.
Like, huh?
His pedigree.
Like, what do you, bro? The nigga got his grimoire. What did he get? Like, how many leaves?
4-star.
4-star grimoire.
4-leaf star.
Man said star, see? Dragon Ball Z. You get me? 4-leaf grimoire. You feel me? Fun fact, Black Clover niggas, that's one of the rarest grimoires a fucking wizard can get upon getting their grimoire. Got that from the jump, bro. The dick suck is at an all-time high, bro. When I say niggas need to get up off their knees, bruv, who is gonna be Wizard King?
Nah, right?
Cool. It's a discussion.
So the latest chapter, the reason why I'm even I even brought this up. Like what? The latest chapter just brought that right into fucking focus. You understand? Because Asta and Yuno are fighting against Lucius.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he pulls out some dirty trick and basically cuts down Asta, right? And I'm like, how many fake outs are you gonna try and fucking serve, man, before you wrap up the story? You understand? And then Yuno just goes on to just like boss up. You understand? As you mentioned, dual wielding the anti-magic and anti-magic.
So
alongside his fucking spirit magic and wind magic.
That which literally made Asta unique. That which literally made him unique. Anti-magic. And the devil thing. You know what I'm saying? But anti-magic. Yuno is now capable of wielding that alongside what makes him unique. Yeah, you can't say, bro.
So I saw that, I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way Asta can become what's it called? Wizard King. Like, after all that, there's just no way. You understand? You're right, IRL likely is gonna be him. Yeah. Right? You know but if we're just looking at the show, it ain't meant to be you, kid.
It's not gonna feel earned. You know what I'm saying? Irrespective of the fact that it probably will be him IRL, it definitely will not feel earned.
Yeah, but that game, White Knight, is it Iron Knight? What was it called?
White Knight Chronicles.
White Knight Chronicles, yeah. Where you play as the main character, but you're not actually the main character.
But here's the thing, yeah. Here's the thing. At least in Asta's case, bro, that game pissed me off, bro. You get me? When I say it pissed me off, bro, you're in the game just to exist, bro. Like, you're just in the background of every cutscene, bro. You get me? Like, you don't say shit. You're not important to the world at all, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll say at least Asta is a touch more important than that. Motherfuck White Knight Chronicles, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bruv, on everything, yeah, on everything, G, like, I'm sorry. Anybody who feels like Asta is the objectively best pick for Wizard King that's been watching Black Clover, I'm gonna need you to put your biases to the side, man.
Thank you.
You get me? Put your biases to the side, because based off what we have been reading in manga and watching in animation, gang, there is only one clear selection. It's not even multiple. One clear selection. You know what I'm saying? No Weller's going from strength to strength. Fuck out of here. You feel me?
So is Asta. So it's not like the boy's weak.
I'm not saying that the boy's weak, but I'm just like, cuz, obviously, he's the only one that you compare Yuno to off the rip. That's why I'm like, cuz, it's only one person. It's not Asta. It's not Noel. It's not nobody else around him who's also got like similarly stronger. Nigga, I ain't even gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? Bro, if you told me it would be Yami, I'd be like, you know what? It's fine.
Fine. You understand? Pass that shit on next.
You get me? But bro, it's Yuno. You get me? The nigga was born to be a king, fam. You get me? It's just he wasn't born to be king of the Spade Kingdom. You get me? He weren't born to be king of the Spade Kingdom, because apparently niggas from the Spade Kingdom just love ruling the Clover Kingdom. You know what, nigga? I'm about to get fucking mad, bro, yeah? So you know what? I'm gonna wrap up the pod there. You get me? I have no more thoughts on fucking Black Clover. Do you have anything else you want to add to Black Clover?
No, I said my piece, boy.
Cool, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, I'm low-key mad. So yeah, cool. It has been KTT episode 34. I have been Drift, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy Xero.
And we will catch you in the next one. Big love.